just made some updates to the table. Just wanted to kind of share them. Sorry about the background noise. I live like literally next to the freeway, so if you can hear that, apologies. Hopefully you can hear me and the table over it. I'm not going to go through any of the other stuff that I didn't change. If you want to see all the other stuff, I'll put a link in the description for the original video. You can see all that. Like Snake, and then the animate. The animate actually is now, it used to be like, well, I don't know what you call them, like animations of colors and stuff. Now I've just got like pictures of my family on there, just like cycles through them. But anyways, we're not going to go through those. In Tetris, things that I've added into this to make it a little bit better. We'll start with our high scores. We've got 10 high scores now instead of like, I think it was 3 or something. And then we're scrolling, now they're just in a list. You can hit like down or up to go back, down to move forward. You can also use A and B. So there's 10 of them. You get to the end and you go forward again, you just come back. We also can delete high scores in here now, and I'll show you which one is selected to delete. The delete is a little harder to do just because you don't want to accidentally be deleting scores all the time, so you have to hit select to delete it. We'll go ahead and show that real quick. We'll see, we'll run through the game. Same stuff as before. Music just changes. The music that you have, if you want to turn it off, you can turn it off. Let's see, sound effects on off. And then your level. Like mentioned previously in the last video, it's built like classic, like the SNES Tetris mostly. Although some things have been added that kind of break out of that a little bit, but the higher the level you go, the faster it gets, and the more points you get. Points are the same. Speed, I think, is the same, but it's kind of hard to tell because I don't have a classic Tetris to test it against, like YouTube videos, classic Tetris to kind of compare. So we'll just go ahead and jump into a game, get a high score. There are a lot of high scores, so it'll be pretty easy to get one. So we can show the new high score and then deleting one. So pretty much, I think just a line gets a new high score. Alright, so that should be good enough. We'll just go ahead and kill this. You also get to see the high score menu. The end screen is a little bit different. So it fades out like before. Game over scrolls by like before. And you can skip through that. And then it tells you got a new high score. You can also skip through that. And it'll let you enter it. If you want to enter it, you can. If you don't, you can hit no. We'll go ahead and enter this one. Brings you the high scores menu just like before. You can punch in whatever you want. And hit A or start, and it's entered. So we go back into the Tetris menu. Let's go take a look at the high scores. So there's Yo and number 10. So we'll go ahead and delete that now. So we go down to the delete, and we'll go find that one. Come to the menu. There we are. And we hit select, and it's deleted. So if we go back into the scores and we go look at it, it's gone, and it just brings in by default this AAA with a score of 1. I'm pretty sure it always comes in with AAA and 1, and you'll just get multiples of them if you delete more high scores. And there are, yeah, if you delete more high scores. So I guess new things apart from that, we have 3 new options. I think we're on the music sound effects. We have Ghost, we have RNG, and we have Invisible. So RNG is just your RNG, random number generator, and you have good and bad. And good is basically just the way that it is on SNES Classic Tetris. I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it is. It's been a while, so I guess if anybody knows, you can go ahead and point it out in a comment or whatever. I think it's like, but I think if it picks a piece that it had picked previously, it will re-roll. Something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyways, bad is just, it basically re-rolls lines all the time. I think it'll re-roll a line up to twice or something just to make make it pretty much impossible to get lines. And I guess the point of that is just to make it more difficult to kind of practice keeping your stacks down without depending on lines. So you can play it that way if you want. Ghost is it's just like a ghost block. It's going to show you where it's going to land. It'll be like a little ghost block where it's going to land before it lands there, and we'll go ahead and show that. We'll also show, I think I showed it in the last one, we'll also show like the level up. Just bad start, I guess. So you can see the little ghost block down here. It just kind of shows you where it's going to land. It's kind of like help you out, I guess. I think that's been in some of the Tetris since it was a request from coworkers. So we went ahead and added in here. So we'll just go ahead and build this up and get a couple. We'll go until we get one level up, so that you can see it. Again, I think we showed it before, but so like the line disappearing is the same as the classic Tetris, all that fun jazz. Wow. So we just need 2 more lines. There we go, 2 lines. So it levels up every 10 lines. If you start at a higher level, it won't level up till you reach the level that you're at. So now, like all the lines are worth a little bit more, just like in classic Tetris. But anyways, that's that. And then we have invisible. So both invisible and invisible and ghost work. Like you can have both of them on or both of them off, or one on at the same time. I think we have ghost on, so we'll leave that on just because invisible is pretty much impossible all on its own. So invisible is just what it sounds like. You can see your block until it like hits the ground and connects to the board, and then it disappears. And then you have to remember where it's at. But everything else is the same. So you'll see the line clear, the line, the colors are the same. Depending on what level you're on, the leveling up is the same. The color will change during the level up. You just can't see it after it lands. So we're going to start at level 0, make sure it's a 0 just because this is impossible to do. Even with the ghost block, it's pretty impossible. So you can see it just disappeared. So we'll try and get like at least 1 line clear. Here we go. See at the bottom, the line clear. And then, you can imagine without the ghost block, like with the ghost block, you can kind of move around and get a feel for where it'll go. Without that, like you really just have to remember where it's at. So we'll show the ending of this is kind of neat. I'll just not really gonna try and get a whole lot of lines. I'm just gonna kind of build up. The music, you can hear the music speeds up when you get to a certain height. I think it's like 5 from the top or something, and it'll get slower if you take it down afterwards. So here you can see it shows you what your thing was at the end. My score. So I think that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and show the inside. Somebody asked about what it looks like inside. So I think, let's see, the lid just comes right off. We can set that aside. And so we've got, power comes in over here. Here's the on-off switch. And then here's the USB charger mentioned in the last video to recharge your controller when it dies. It all just kind of comes in, nice little big capacitor, diode, make sure the circuit's all good. Each strip here has their own power. and it all just runs up. Here's your speaker. All just runs up. You can see here's a teensy. That one controls basically the game. And then there is the Bluetooth module for the controller. And then here's the audio side. And I mentioned before I had it broken up into two teensies. One controls the audio and one controls the game, because the audio just seemed to kind of take a toll on if I had it all on one. Just processor wise, it just struggled. I've got an SD card in there. I think like the music is on the SD card, but all the sound effects are on the teensy itself. And then just a little amplifier for the speakers. I was planning on using like the teensy audio board and seeing if that helped in combining them into one, but I just never got around to it. There's a bunch of stuff I never really got around to. So let's see if I can get this open. I'll probably need a tool. Okay, so this is just forget exactly what this is. Frosted, like, what's that stuff called? It's not glass, but it's kind of like plasticky, whatever that is. I'm bad with words sometimes. So basically, the whole thing is just a grid. There's just this like paper grid. It comes out, but I'd rather just not, because the wires are kind of running under a little like, where's my finger? Little hole down there. And lining them all back up afterward is kind of a pain in the butt. So it's just a big grid, painted black. Pixels run up and down. They all go the same direction. So that's basically it.